Excellent.
Yeah.
Oh, the big
I was gonna
one?
do the same thing.
Are you going to get your class tonight?
Yeah. I said, no, I did, but I just really.
Wait, 302, is that like getting to know the church and its,
Well, we
Our
have,
church
it's
does
a,
that
it's,
too.
it's one of the, it is type of class. This is like a meeting God, like a prayer discernment kind of class.
oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm going to go over there. And then next week I'm going to the women's thing, but that's later. This one's
Yeah.
an early one.
I was tardy for the women's thing last.
I was
but it
tardy.
was so good.
Well, I ended up staying the whole time here.
Due to you.
And then so I
I
ended
just
up not
went
going to that one. But I will be going next week, so
Where's Vineyard?
it's over off of Cooper.
It's
That is
huge.
so funny. Well, we
So do
had-
you go there weekly then?
Yeah,
And I've never run into you.
I typically go on Saturday.
I'm a Sunday person.
Yeah.
I help out at 9 o'clock and I go to 11:30.
Okay, we usually, well, my kids like 11:30, so this summer we've gone there. Small world.
It's a small world.
So
That's
will
a
I
big
have
church.
enough hours because I haven't missed?
If you can, for credit, you can miss 2 classes. Because I made it so that we leave 8 times and you only have to come 6.
Okay.
Well, I was going to go to the one on Sunday, past Sunday or the Sunday before, and I didn't even make it to church that day, so
I didn't
for like
make
a
it
3 on
Sunday.
5.
We had a gender reveal party for my mom and son Sunday.
Oh, that'll be
Yeah, so we're having a granddaughter.
Oh, that's exciting. You don't appear to be old enough to be a grandma.
No, that's
I've got 4 sons and 2 grandchildren.
Really?
Yes.
So I went in to the site, which I'll post out. Send the link out again, is what I meant to say. I went in and added all the notes that I took last week. A lot of the websites people were throwing out, like the Weebly, I can't remember who said the Des Moines. Weebly, and then the one with Journey, no, that was Journeys. Anyway, I put them all in chapter 4 notes, so they're all hot links, so you can just go in there. And then I'll go and add stuff in today after So this week was about academic writing. To say it wasn't the most exciting chapter to read, but
It was at least a quick read.
yeah. Any initial thoughts? I took all my notes in the computer because I didn't have paper at my sister's house. So my notes are hiding in the computer.
One thing I thought of was, because they gave us all these great graphic organizers, but in each section, then they gave the transition words that go with that. So I was thinking, like in the writing folder, you could like make a copy of it, and then, knowing me, I would be old school and type it and cut and paste it at the bottom of the graphic organizer, and then that way they know what transition words would work best for that type of writing. So
I know the tapes are weird. I
Um,
don't set them up.
yeah,
It's the
but
first
that way they know what to use for like what type of writing and stuff. So I made that note for myself.
I thought those lists were cool too, and just for me, even like, so that I'm not teaching the same like 5 or 6 transition words all the time.
I feel like I do that a lot.
Mhm.
I need to
Or
spice
they
it up
just
a little
know,
bit.
like I've given them packets, they just don't want to use it, you know, to get it out. That we do, like, we call Rocket Bucks Big Money, if we see them pull it on their own, we give them like $20. And then you see everybody start pulling them out.
Right.
Hey, it
But I think
works.
it's actually on the graphic organizer.
I think
They're more likely
I
to,
would think so too.
they don't have to, they get a little lazy. So
Mhm.
easy access.
Yes,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, I really love all these copyable tools here.
Mhm.
Like on the page by itself, I can easily
Right.
take it.
And when you copy it, do you need to keep the stuff on the bottom?
You're supposed to, but most teachers don't.
We usually just use a nice dark
But you can
Or
also
like the
find
Post-it
these
notes.
online too. I mean, like,
Yeah.
Okay.
like Houghton Mifflin or one of the publishers has a bunch of them online as well. If you just put in graphic organizers.
Google image even.
Yeah.
And sometimes you can, it's like if you have a specific assignment you're working on, you can actually make it for your specific assignment. So like if you put in, you can make your web and then you can actually put in, okay, write 5 things about this, write 5 things about this. So you can actually personalize it. Cool.
Oh,
So
and then
that-
it's yours.
Mhm.
So
And
if
then,
we were to put this transition words down at the bottom,
yeah.
then, because it says for, if you bought the book, it's for personal use.
Isn't
It says
that like
permission to
sidestepped
photocopy.
by like, if you only use it in the classroom, doesn't that like apply to everything? Like if you don't send it home,
Sure.
you can use it?
Yeah.
But we'll just put the transition words in. It went up for it.
You can always say
And with
borrowed
the, yeah,
from.
with the
I didn't
lower
know.
level English learners, you can actually put like sentence frames and stuff on there too, so to help them to.
That's a site
Inside.
that you're talking about, Jessica?
You can, I'm trying to think of what it is, but since I have my template now, I don't use it as much anymore. But there's a place where you can kind of edit templates. So it's a template on a Word, so it's not on a
Okay.
PDF. So since it's on a Word, if they have 5 circles and you only need 3, you just delete the 2.
Gotcha.
And then you
Okay.
can put information in those circles. You know, put a text box to,
Got ya.
like if you want them to describe certain things.
Uh-huh.
Do you find that people or the students sometimes have difficulty transferring from the graphic organizer?
If they're not taught, I do, I
Yeah.
think sometimes teachers assume that they can do it on their own. I see that in the regular classroom a lot, where they think that they can do it on their
I think sometimes I assume that as well. And then I go, ooh,
I do,
let's back it up a couple steps.
own. But when you see them come up with something totally different, like, where is this on your graphic
I know.
organizer? And it's not there. And like nothing here is there. and
Right.
Nothing here is there, and you're like, what?
Yeah.
And I have a tendency to assume that my ELAs, not ELAs, what am I talking about? I just looked at the reading test scores too, so that's why I'm like ELAs. I just assume my ELLs, because I have the higher level or they've just graduated or, tested out, exited. And I have a tendency to just assume that and then I'll like be reading them.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, all right, you guys, you can go back, let's sit down and we're gonna read it, but it's due. No, we're good.
Yeah.
Yeah. And sometimes I'll even put the first sentence of the paragraph.
Mm.
Instead of just putting the topic, I'll put, this is the first sentence, find the evidence for this, for some of the lower level ones.
Yeah.
So it gives them more, that way when they go to put it there, they know that's their first sentence of their paragraph. And sometimes even in their paragraphs, I'll fill in information and just put lines for them to write in.
Me too. Yeah, I've, Jessica, I've come across that a lot where they'll fill out a graphic organizer beautifully and then I'll go to look at the paper and I'm like, but nothing that you wrote here is here. Like, you've done all the work. Like, you just did double the work. So trying to get them to say, hey, okay, this is my work. I just need to transfer it over, literally.
And I
Mhm.
think
You know?
even our native English speakers have trouble with that because I was noticing on state testing,
Mm.
they don't ask for paper, but yet they don't do any type of pre-writing to do and they have those essays and they have to get a 4 to our, 4
Mhm.
points on the language arts.
Right.
And they're not even pre-writing, they're not doing any type of organization. And they're going straight to typing. And I'm trying to, because I was kind of like thinking, well, maybe they're doing it on there. I'm just not, for me, I have to see it. So I have to have visual, I either write it, or even if I do it on the computer, I have to have it in separate columns. Because sometimes I'll put things in columns, or I'll put a topic here, and leave space, so I'll go back and forth.
Okay.
But I'm like, but they don't. And so I don't think they
Yeah.
really truly know that if the pre-writing part helps to write.
This
Like, they just
year
see it
mine
as
did
extra
better.
work, extra homework.
Right.
Mine did better this year though, especially state tests that they, with the pre-writing than normally because last year when we did it, I think I collected a bunch of blank paper and just a shred, the name on it, I'm like, this is stupid. But this year, there was a lot more that I.
I don't know which color I keep. As long as you have one, they get one. So they must get the white one? Yeah, they get the white one. I was just looking at which color I have. And I have the pink.
And I think what's difficult, or maybe for me, is like I don't do outlines. I just write, and so it's hard for me to to go, okay, kids, this is what we're gonna do.
I give them
You
different
know?
ways, and then I let them choose which sticks the best for them. Because like
Yeah.
I have my own system.
But I think that that's what makes it hard for the English language teachers, because as an English teacher, you know that you can write differently. You don't have to have the 5-paragraph essay. However, some kids need that structure, because if they don't have the structure, they're gonna have 5 topics in 1 paragraph, or
Right.
1 paragraph, the whole thing.
I know.
And so it's one of those where it's like you have, like, some kids need that, but if you give that structure to some kids, you're stifling them.
Right,
So it's kind of you have to know, so it might be one thing for one kid and something different for another.
Well, it's hard when it says multi-paragraph. They're like, does that mean 5 paragraphs? I'm like, it means
Right.
whatever you want to make it, but it needs to be, it says multi,
yeah.
and I'm just like,
And so
whatever
many
you
of
think's
them,
best.
yeah, want those parameters because they want to do it right. Which is frustrating because
Well,
it's,
They want to be
flexible.
done with it.
yeah, sometimes that too. And sometimes the teacher does too.
But yeah, I think the graphic organizers, like, if they do use them correctly and they're taught to use it, I think it would help with organization.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if they had vocabulary as well, because if you're using this as part of the pre-writing and you're doing it with them, you can put vocabulary that they don't know, and you go over vocabulary so that when they're writing, they're not doing any, like we talked about a few weeks ago, or almost every week, if they're spending time on grammar and writing and all that, when they're writing, they're not gonna have that time. So if they do that writing over here, but it's just a matter of making sure that they know how to go from here to there.
And one thing to make sure they have that academic vocabulary in there. If it's on the computer, my team partner, especially on the science test, would have them bold that academic vocabulary so they knew they were using it. But if we're, this is so much focused on transition words, you can make them
Mm-hmm.
have to do that or underline it so it stands out and they know they have enough in there.
Hey, well, I'm thinking of it. Do you guys have online English learning programs that you use? For example, like we have Rosetta Stone.
We had that, but we used it for a foreign language. But the English, if the English kid, speaking kid, if they wanted to use the English one, our ESL kids could, but I don't think we'd have the subscription.
We
But they use
use,
it for foreign language.
I know our ELLs can get Lexia through the special ed department somehow.
Because we have our school district tends to not do well in testing, we have a lot of online programs that the classroom teachers already have that we don't really add anything to them, because they already have all those.
Achieve 3000.
Mm.
Yeah. Not everybody uses it. Yeah. I didn't have access to it. It was the ELLs that had access to it.
Where are you in Southwestern? Yeah, when I was at my conference a couple weeks ago, I came across a company called Mango.
Okay, languages.
Uh-huh. And I did I was talking to him on my phone and he shared a screen with me this morning so I could see what it was like. But Rosetta Stone is too. And I think Rosetta Stone is.
I think it's good for people who are self-learners, but I don't know if it's good for schools because of the lack of academic vocabulary. It's a very social, but I'm just not sure for ESL, like for EFL, maybe not so, and for adult learning, but it really probably depends on the kid, but I think it's made as not a program, but like as a supplemental. I think if you're using it as a supplemental program, I think it's an okay supplemental program, but I just don't think it's enough meat.
Yeah. Well, I was talking to him and I was like, I'd like to try something different. Of course, I do not have the $1,000 to give you, so I can have 30 licenses.
Lexia,
But-
Achieve 3000.
Let me pilot
We
this
don't
for you,
use
and I
the
will
cheat
share
on
my
our-
experiences.
And that's what I said. I
I knew it
said,
was
I need to coin
good.
it right.
It's good, it's just too expensive for what it is. My name is not a cheat. Oh, great, I'm writing this.
I just looked up something today that I saw. Wordly what?
Why?
Yes,
What's that?
it's a vocabulary. And I didn't look at the pricing because as soon as I saw paper, I'm like, yeah, that's not gonna float.
It's okay.
Wordly.
I think because there's so many things that are free. I'm just like, okay, I mean, but it's okay.
Conic Wordly, Wordly, wise, WISE. They,
It's very awkward to say.
Huh?
It's very awkward, like, it's
Yeah.
a terrible name.
Khan Academy, but they haven't really come out with it.
They're working
They're
on
in
it.
the process.
It's
they-
more grammar. It's like if you
I've
have,
only used their science and math.
yeah, my kids love it.
They-
math.
They truly love it.
You get like your badges.
Yeah, they learned how to hack that.
Well, I only use it because they have Swahili. And
Oh,
I
great.
had some kids that they were struggling with the English, learning algebra and English, and so I put them on the Swahili. I'm like, I don't understand what they're saying, but let's see, does this help you?
Yeah.
This is
Did it help?
It did.
That's all that matters.
Yeah.
Well, and what I found interesting about this mango, what?
Mango language.
Languages, why can't
Yeah,
I?
you should.
Hello.
The Columbus Library used to have an
Yeah.
account where I think on my phone I can get it from the Columbus Library. The Marion one does not.
I'll have to look.
Columbus one does and Grove City does.
Yeah. So you can have it on your
Columbus
phone as long
Library.
as you sign into your Columbus account.
Okay,
Because I used to have it on my phone.
okay. But what he was telling me is that in so many languages that he showed me on the screen, that the directions and the explanations are in their first language. And then they'll learn the English as they go through. And I was like, huh,
In the Chinese
there's a
communicative.
lot of research that shows that
Yeah, the
that's
Chinese
helpful.
communicative approach uses that too. At OSU, they have made up their own curriculum, and they do a lot of that too, where the passages are in Chinese, but the directions are in
Yeah, okay.
Chinese. But I think that as a foreign language, I think the Mango is really good. See, the thing is, I look at things as foreign language versus English as a second language. There's just a difference in what they're learning and how they're learning it. And I just like, sometimes I just think some of those programs just aren't enough.
Hmm.
Some of the things that are made like as a foreign language just don't have enough depth or enough academic vocabulary. And our kids need to know so much so quickly.
Yeah.
And I just don't know. Like, so as a supplemental, I think they're all good, but as like the program.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
unfortunately, some places, once they get a hold of something, they just make everybody use it. You have to use it no matter which kid, even if it's not working for the kid. We
Right,
paid this much, you're gonna,
right,
you're gonna
right, right.
utilize this.
We used to use Study Island.
Uh-huh.
We had that for a while too.
Yeah.
That was his
Um,
way out.
Yeah.
It looked like crap.
Kids hated it.
It was better than nothing. Let me tell you,
Yes.
when I first started teaching, started using it, it was like the best thing out there compared, I mean, we had nothing.
Yeah, yeah, but it looked like some website that I had made and like.
You're right, it was.
great.
It was like, I mean, it was really,
When
like, when
I
it first came
studied,
out.
it was, the kids were doing it.
Yeah,
Right.
it was very popular.
And there was nothing else though, like, but compared to what else is out there now, it's like, why would you use that? But back
Yeah.
then, like, it was good. There's nothing to compare it to. It was just.
Moby Max is another one I've used before, which is a reading program. That one's free.
If you have iPads, there's lots of apps that you just put in like phonics and English and different things like
I
that.
don't have
So, yeah, so the iPads, they do have a lot of apps for those.
ABC, is good too, for K5.
What?
ABCYA.
Yes, I love
That's
that one.
fun.
I am familiar with that one. I also came across another company called,
That sounds familiar.
so Maui is the first name of a gentleman who was
Yeah,
an
that was Hawaiian.
an Ethiopian refugee that came to America and, you know, it's a good story. That's not what I meant. It's a, whatever. He's done well. That's what I'm trying to say. And they had like character education for ESL students, like 6 and up. And I was like, oh, that's interesting. That just jumped in my head. And he gave me his 2 books for free, which I thought was very nice. But I haven't looked into it yet, because, you know, I learn about all these things and then I forget about them.
You don't apply them right away.
I know. So I'll put that down here too, so I'll have that. Anyway, okay. I just wanted to check.
I think that reading A to Z,
Yes.
that EL,
They do have a section. I've never really used that section. We use the regular Z.
it
Yeah.
has a lot of vocabulary activities.
Does anybody use Brain Pop ESL?
I had access to it this year, but I didn't use it that much because it wasn't appropriate for the kids I worked with.
Okay.
But I like Brain Pop.
We use regular brain pop all the time.
I know, I love Brain Pop.
The kids love it.
I wish people would give things to you for free.
Yeah.
Even just for like 30 days. I'm like, can I just try it for a month? But maybe I need to be more convinced.
PTA pays for the school, Alex pays for ESL.
I was just gonna say, I have a password for one.
Nice, I love it. You know what? I have some from other schools.
What makes it nice if you have lots of elementaries. In our district, we have 2 or 3 programs that they buy for everybody. But then each school can purchase their own. And so if this one purchases one, this one purchases another, you just got 2 new ones.
Got it.
Because it's ESL, you have everybody's.
I know.
I got it before.
Yeah.
And it's the only password I know. I don't even know our own schools. Because I just remember
Yeah.
that.
See, I don't know the passwords. I just save it in my computer. I was thinking of something else, but I can't. Okay, so Amy, we were talking about how this chapter was not horribly riveting.
I know, that was a repeat.
I love it. I knew it all. Yeah, and I think we do a lot of explanation writing, you know, the steps and sequencing.
I thought it was interesting, the descriptive and expository. Or like when you talked about, this chapter, you talked about the magic school bus. Oh yeah, the examples. When they're talking about Mr. Carey, what they do.
What do you guys talk about? On how to tie their running shoes.
I think I have it.
I think all kids need to learn how to do that.
Yeah.
Tie any type of shoe, really.
Oh, that was a sequential.
Hello.
I don't know. I think this chapter would have been good for me as a pre-service teacher, but
I think sometimes the knowledge, because I know a lot of teachers know it, but when they go to practice it, I still
Yeah.
see, like, I think that's what we were talking about, people, the kids are doing it, but they don't really know how to put it into their writing. So I think that needs, that whole aspect.
What do you guys think of these daily news strategy? That's where the kids would tell something, he'd write it like in a narrative version, and then he would change it to like expository. It was on page 107 or 108.
Also, we took the topic from the I know it when I was teaching the regular classroom, it was kindergarten or first grade, because I taught both, but we would do the morning message and we would make it a narrative. So I can definitely see taking that and then somehow picking a topic from that and making it. Because I think sometimes the schools are going away from the narrative, but our kids still need the narrative. So they need everything. They, it seems like argumentative is actually more than expository though. It seems like they want more argumentative. But I think when they can see the connection, because even in reading, they have paired text where you have fiction and the nonfiction.
Right. Do you guys tend to use graphic organizers when you start a new writing?
I do.
Yes.
Do you have any favorite ones? Trying to reuse paper.
I use a book called Prompt Plan Right. And have you heard of that?
I've
I don't know.
heard
if
of it. It's a
the
mailbox.
last
It's a
paper. It's a
mailbox.
mailbox, that's right. But they have all grade levels, and that's a really fun one because they have fun prompts, and then they have just a neat little organizer that you can get started
It's a
on.
fun organizer.
Uh-huh.
It's the one that has all the cats and dogs. And I find that even sometimes in those though, like it actually asks a question for them to answer in the graphic organizer, so it gives them, so it's not just an empty space there, you can answer your question. But then some of the, it's okay to need more questions, and, or you can talk them through it in your one-on-one. But I think that
Yeah, I've made a lot of graphic organizers with the question there, for note taking especially. Have like, okay, copy it. What does it say? Now, what does it mean? That kind of thing.
I still tend to use the web more than anything.
Me too.
I don't know if
It's
it's
my
because it's
go-to.
one that I learned as a kid. I don't know what it is, but it just seems like that one makes sense for so many things. Because I guess because it goes back to that 5-paragraph essay that no one really does anymore, but at the same time, that concept, because if you have your web, you have 3 topics and 3 paragraphs, and the kids have the organization there. So I tend to use that more than anything. But I also use a lot of tables. I'll make my own tables. That way I can put the frames at the top or the vocabulary at the top. I do end up making the tables similar to those type of things. But when I do it, I usually make it so that I'm giving information.
We would use different like they'd have we do reading text structures first. They'd identify text structures, and then they'd have like a little cheat sheet with an example of the text structure in a graphic organizer. And some of them liked it, but some of them didn't. We also used a house.
For me, an idea,
Yeah,
for
for
some
me, an
reading
idea.
idea, and all that, yeah. I know.
Back to the use. I'm gonna-
Well, I think, are you leaving?
Yeah,
Yeah, because you're going to meeting.
You don't have to
That's
apologize.
right. Yeah, well, because I was so rich.
No, that's okay.
You missed them before you got there. They were talking about how they're going to the same class at
Aw.
a church, so they sneak out a little bit.
Have fun.
That's like, oh, every time I say it, it's always. Sorry.
Well, if it helps you feel any better, I don't think anybody wants you. I do put them on the website though. but nobody remembers. I know,
I got the email.
I'll send it back.
That's from my dad.
Oh, with the link?
Yeah, she had a very nice name.
That's good. I usually take it back before I come and get
Teresa. She's a service technician.
Oh, there it is, I did get it.
Well, I hope she gets your problem.
I use Venn diagrams a lot too,
Yeah.
especially for comparing the contrast. And I haven't really found another one that does it. That makes sense.
My kids like T-charts.
Okay, sure.
Some of them really like it because they get way hung up on drawing it. I'm not gonna take a bunch of those.
No, not that I can draw.
But then drawing it, they'll be like,
Mm-hmm. Oh my God, I'm trying to get a foot pad in there.
Yeah. Yeah. Or do you have something I No?
Just draw a circle.
Yeah, I'm like, does that look perfect? And I'm like,
And then I'll try to draw it and then. Yeah.
yeah, it just wasn't really.
Oh, I found the thing I was thinking about earlier, it's on page 92 at the beginning. Because this is a hard thing, we had to find a good mentor text of what we wanted them to write.
Mm.
So when he did the informational text that were all kind of text structure that kids needed to write. When he brought the school bus, the magic school bus that he thought was expository. But it really was narrative.
I think mentor texts are important
Yes.
for any type of kid.
I've written a few. But
Yeah.
when I can find kids, it's better. But sometimes it's like, okay, I'm just gonna write it because I'll spend 15 minutes every day.
And when you do that, are you using transition words?
I have a whole table of transition ones that you go to. And went to the 5th grade standards and pulled out some of those from, that's my luxury of working in 1st grade.
Mm-hmm.
I know all that.
Yeah.
One of many luxuries.
Yes.
Yeah.
Counting my lessons here.
Yeah.
I was kind of cranky about not really knowing what's going on next year, but I was like, what? I'm in one building.
We're just not worried about it until.
Yeah. Oh, no, maybe 2 grades, but I can do
I
that.
say, because you may have 6 class. Yeah, no. My stressors don't outside.
You guys are old.
I found this really great coping, I would call it a mechanism, just like a line of thought, because I have to pick a new one like every 6 months when
Oh,
it
yeah.
wears out. The end will come no matter how difficult. So like if it's a bad day or whatever, like it can be the worst day of my life or school year or whatever, it's gonna come. So just wait for it. Like it's on the way. Just it's been
That's
effective
good.
for a few weeks. So we'll see how many bad days it takes for that to not matter anymore. But
Yeah,
it's working for now.
I've already started to have,
Victory.
I'm already having the school dreams.
Oh,
Already.
really?
Yeah.
I had one last week. And like, it's too early for them to start.
Well, my brother-in-law was so nice to inform me today that after next week, they're going on vacation next week. So he was telling his son, he goes, after we get back from vacation, we only have 25 days.
There's only 5 minutes.
And I was like,
Yeah.
I go,
Wait a
oh.
second.
I go back to 14. Or whatever. I'm like, okay. I did go into my classroom the other day. It was Monday on the torrential downpour day.
I had it.
That was fun.
I just want to do it now because then I can, like, those
Yeah.
days in August need so much more.
Yeah, when you're not.
Yeah, and like, since I moved rooms, I haven't.
Yeah.
I got some
Moved
cabinets filled, that
rooms.
was it. So it's like, I want to go put, like, my,
But we don't know if any of the room movings are
I'm not
permanent.
moving.
Yours should be,
I'm not moving.
but like,
No,
or
I refuse.
one girl had to move downstairs.
Eddie something.
But
Is
now
that
she-
shit? And does it go with like videos?
Who?
Good, probably.
Eddie something.
Oh.
I don't know. But this towards the end of the year, he was talking about fire drills at the end of the year, and he's like going on this rant or whatever. He said, "I just pray to God it is just an alarm because I shall not be moving. I shan't be going anywhere."
Yeah,
I almost
Yeah.
yes.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
not, no, they move it for me, but I refuse. So
Yeah, they moved everything. My room
it's
was
just the
clean.
cabinets.
I
So
got the go ahead that I could go back in. The custodians move all our stuff.
they move theirs.
To clean that around it.
Well,
They
we
can
all-
Yeah, but they moved all your room stuff?
Yeah,
They'll move ours.
I could have slapped a paper on it that says room 215.
Well, I don't trust them.
Oh, yeah, that was a.
I'll see,
that
I
was a
don't-
hot mess, that transition.
Yeah, I don't, so that's not, my bookshelf got moved.
Except
That
there
was-
was a
I was
time I
told
did
it's not
move
going to be
from one building
Until I
to the
can get a new
next. And I guess
custodian.
some things got misplaced from my palette.
That's the summary
And I was like, So of course, like day one in a new building, I had to send out an email. Anybody
I
see
know.
my dry erase board and my tabletop pencil?
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, I'm sorry, that's mine. You know, they didn't know.
Yeah.
So I was like, all right.
Thank you.
I know, like, one of the things that I got to hear about, the other thing was like $60, and you know what I mean? But, no, so I wanted to remove. And, of course, the custodian comes and he's like, did you use these file cabinets? Or file cabinets, not filing, or. He goes, did you drag them across the carpet? I go, yes, I did. He goes, you know, you can scratch something.
Oh, you were in trouble. This was a scolding.
Snag the carpet.
I
I
had
go,
the
I
same
didn't
talk. I
snag
did.
the carpet. And I said, you're retiring. You got your carpet in 10 days. But I didn't do anything. And he's like, well, let me get those, some other new custodian that we have. Come in and move that filing cabinet for you. Okay. So they came down and he's like, Melissa has some furniture she needs you to move. I go, no, just that filing cabinet. I can move everything else. The one table's on wheels, so is the other one. The one I lift, I'm like, I figured it out. You know what I
Sometimes you
mean?
need to be in the room by yourself, like, you get it,
Yes.
everything put away, and then you're like, no, no, and then it's like,
Exactly.
and like, if you have someone else do it, like, actually, no, can you put it back?
Right.
Like, 2 hours later, they're gonna stab you, like, it's,
Right.
that's not
I
good.
know. I know. Well, then I brought my kids with me because I had to. And and I was like, okay. And so my son, of course, like sat on a bean chair and ignored me, which was fine. And then my daughter's like, she's like, I go, I have some books you can put on the bookshelf. She goes, show me to alphabetize those by last name. Oh, yeah, that'd be great. Right?
Because I'm not doing that, so.
So then I push all the boxes over there and she's like, "You're gonna teach me." I'm like, that's fine, honey. It would have been a big job. I would have had to do it. But then I don't think I want to keep those bookshelves in the corner.
How do you level your books? Do you level your books?
You know what? I haven't.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go through and do that.
See, I do mine by
There's an
Lexile level.
app, isn't there?
Oh, yeah, there's all kinds of apps. I've got all mine by
Let's talk
Lexile
about
level.
apps for leveling books,
Yeah.
shall we? I'm sure it's an expository writing somewhere.
Book Wizards. Book Wizard's good.
Book
So walk me through this process, I've never,
Like for all the kids' books, they all have a level.
right,
And so I made my own color coding system. So like BR to 99, which is the Lexile level, is like red books.
Mhm.
And so then I just do all the levels and then I have little tape on them.
I'm curious, so you like just type in the title and it like just tells you, like it's just a search engine?
Yeah, and there's even barcodes.
I was gonna
here.
say, can't you scan the barcode?
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's Book Wizard.
It's
Book Wizard by
Scholastic,
Scholastic. is
Okay.
the one.
Okay.
and it tells you, so do you guys do guided reading levels or, yeah, it tells you guided reading levels, PRA,
Okay.
lifestyle.
Okay. Look at your pop socket.
I have lit leveler
That's
too,
too much
which
of a
is
fidgeter.
like it just pops out of it.
Oh my gosh, I was holding my dog.
You scan whatever, or you can type it in.
It's like, just give me a
But
fidget
Book Wizard's probably my favorite too.
My son has a
They
nice
have an app also.
spinner. I love my purse for my cat. My fidget spinners.
Oh, I thought you meant your pop socket.
No,
That's a
I
little
don't love
weird.
it. No, the fidget spinner, she.
I mean, it's cool though.
Yeah, I
it's
went like
just
this, I had a
beautiful.
video of it.
Yeah, it's
and
really
she was
nice.
like, she's got it so bad. And then she started tossing it up.
Like
She
that.
loved it. Yeah, so she's on the fetching now.
So does it, so it just tells you what it is and you label it by color?
Yep.
Do you have like a color code on the wall?
Just kind of did my own. Because I went to, when I did my student teaching assignment, my cooperating teacher just had this like they were like in a box, and I'm like, kids can't do anything with that. So I just
Yeah.
kind of took them and sorted them and labeled them, and then I just carried it on to my teaching now, which is
Mhm.
that was my big student teaching project. All that's done, but now it's just nice because now that I have the code, I can just scan it, and that's what it is, and it goes in that
Yeah.
bucket. And
Okay.
it's nice though because I can get Lexiles are my favorite because it takes into account sentence complexity and vocabulary and stuff like that. So I can find if I can find my kid's Lexile, that's usually pretty close to what they are able to understand. So, but it also we do like reading A to Z. So I do like red books are also A, B, and C, or you know, there's some
Oh,
correlation
they have
to
a
whatever
different
Middle Things
level.
is.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
usually go by that.
I think that's one of those, DRA,
Yeah.
you know,
With
where
the chart that I use.
thank you, yeah.
Yeah.
Except I can never find it, and then I look it up again, and so I think I have 852 of those charts, yeah. So this is what I was thinking for this year, and tell me, ladies, if you have something like this, like some sort of checking out book system.
They never use it.
Yeah.
Okay, so one of the classrooms I was in, I don't know if they're different. They're probably maybe a little taller.
They have more responsibility with their belongings, whereas
Our kids are
ours
just used
procedure
to not
type
having
thing.
anything that's
Yeah.
like.
I just go through the
Organized.
cubby, I go through their cubbies periodically, and I just work them out, I just take them all back out.
They don't
But I
live
used to
nice
have
places.
Cards inside the book, and you have to file it, we've done that, we've done the paper just sitting here.
Yeah.
This year, I was
People
like,
do
screw it.
The best thing,
binders.
the best thing I've had work is, I don't know if you do Diana, her like our mini worker. She took it upon herself to take care of it.
I
And
love
she
that.
checked.
Like the book police.
She was the book police. She checked everybody.
Love that.
Do you have this every afternoon?
That would be a good room job.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It was a
well,
room
yeah.
job when I did my first year with Jill. And she would do a library check once a week.
I have a library person, they didn't hate
Yeah. And the library person was really bad at it, but
Well, if you make the library job a big deal and they don't like doing it, the job will get easier the more responsibility they
yeah.
take for turning them, if everybody takes care of their books, the library person has very little to do theoretically. So maybe that, like, turn them on against each other
Yeah.
sort of thing,
Yeah.
Library guy's gonna hate you if you don't turn your book in.
Uh-huh.
There's some that would take that.
They,
Yeah.
I've seen people do like the paint stirrer sticks,
Mm.
and then you like get one for each kid. We did popsicle sticks, but it didn't, they were too small.
Mm.
And then you stick your paint stirrer where your book was,
Oh,
Yes,
that's a good idea.
and then you can see.
our librarian used to do that.
Mine's in like
Yeah.
baskets. though.
Baskets.
So, and they used to be by genre and stuff, but they never kept it. I just,
Yeah.
So it's like, the one thing I did that I have a goal for next year, and we have a book room and getting books from those, is making table bins. All different books centered around like whatever your theme is or something. And then every week switching books in and out.
Mm.
And the kids, when we did that, they were more inclined to read than if they had to go in our middle room to get a book out of the shelf. So my goal, it would be awesome if we could like, if there's a group of us that did that, and then we could share the bins instead of
Yeah.
having to go and create them every week.
Why don't we just do it?
Gianna might be back
Yeah,
there.
Gianna will do it.
Gianna will do it too, so if
There we go.
if we do it, then I'll be
Just make our own systems.
Yeah, exactly. Forget mine.
Mom, were you gonna tell us something? I feel like you were.
Oh, I have, my co-teacher uses an app for checkout called Book Buddy. And it's on my phone. I just never have really been really persistent with using it, but it's really cool. You just like, you can scan all your books, so they're all on there. And then I can show you, better to show you them.
visual.
So like, those
Did
are
she
all
show
my
it to you?
books. Yeah,
I don't have
to show
a
you.
room or a library of my own, so
I'll show you in a minute.
it's okay. I don't need this tool because
She doesn't
I will
have
walk
it.
through these classrooms.
Sad.
It's pathetic.
I inherited
They need
a
to
whole
get you a
bunch.
good
The kid wants that book.
The kid.
Well,
You
we
go
have like
and then loan
shared
book.
offices or
And then
whatever.
you
I
can,
don't like.
you can like make a
Yeah.
list of their
Yeah.
names and stuff, and it's
Yeah,
just like a
really set
clicking
up.
thing.
So,
It doesn't
yeah.
mean like
Just
you
put
know
it on
what
your
kid has
file
what
and
book.
Yeah.
Mhm.
iPad or whatever. if you
Yeah.
have
I was gonna say,
that.
Yeah, it's nice if I'm just like, just take it.
Yeah,
You know,
that's
like,
what I was
That's been my
I got
system,
to
but
that point, yeah.
if you're,
the teacher I work with, she's like, hold on.
I just let
if
them
you
take
really
it,
want it.
if they really want it, they can have it because.
I know, and as English learners, they don't have books at
Yeah,
home, so if they want to keep it, and if they, you know,
yeah.
I
I'm not
stopped
too worried
spending
about
money
it.
on new books, really.
Scholastic's good because they
Yeah.
get the points, but then I hate having to like order the books. So it always goes to the wayside because I hate ordering the book yet. And so,
What
but that's where I've gotten a ton of books. My library's so healthy.
So if you're like,
Some of mine is
and
too,
then
because
it
I
will
got
show
hand
like
me
their
downs
names
from
and
Bob.
what books they have. So
We even
you
cleaned it
Yeah,
out
from
in the beginning
Brad.
of last school year. We cleaned it out. and
Your
it's
library?
still-
Oh, we cleaned out my library, Abigail helped me with
Yeah.
that. She like leveled it all for me while I was. The post-meeting meeting.
It's a thing. You're not like, you
No, it was the last day of school when like they called me down on the loudspeaker. and they were like,
that meeting.
what are we gonna do? We had a whole day to discuss this. Well, special ed gets out and nobody talked to us. I said, well, I thought we decided this. That's not what I said.
Yes, it is. We had
Here's
the
the
most
picture.
mismanaged end of the school year in the world.
Mm,
It was horrible. Like, I think Vice President is, excuse me. Yeah, take off the Jordans.
I don't know what's happening. And then that's when I was in the meeting with people and they were like, I don't want all the newcomers. Like, they don't need that much attention. They don't really need to learn. They can just sit there and like get
Who said that?
English. One of the math teachers.
But our administrators also, they're like, they only need to just learn their ABCs. I'm like, no, they can do a ton of
They
stuff.
can do so much.
What does that even mean? Like that's what we're
What does
here for.
it mean? I don't know.
It was not a good ending to our school year.
What I don't understand is like even native speakers, if they're even like the poorer kids, like on the socioeconomic scale, like these kids don't have these skills either. If you can understand that within the context of American English speaking kids, but then we bring someone from another country and then suddenly those rules don't apply to you anymore, like how does that make what?
Because neither of them have ever had to try and teach in their classroom.
And I got
Oh.
like advocacy
And that's
burnout
why.
at the end of the year.
Yeah.
And
Because
I
they,
was just not in a good place.
were in a good place.
Misunderstood. There is a lot of misunderstandings, we should call it.
It's hard to like constantly feel like you have to go to bat. And I'm like, okay, well, if I'm this exhausted, how can they feel? Like,
Oh, yeah.
it's awful, and I don't know, I feel like that's one thing that as a professional, maybe just a person, like I needed to learn to deal, to like not take it personally or to not,
It's hard though.
yeah,
This
because
is a very
it
personal job.
matters.
Mm-hmm.
I care. It's not like, okay, somebody's just not gonna get their like coffee on time, it's great. But it's like, and then
Just even their group, how they were gonna group them made absolutely no sense.
And then just to not listen to me when I've had experience, and you have 4 women in the room with a master's degree at TESOL who are saying, okay, well, this is maybe, like, we met together and we said this, we thought maybe this would be the best way to work it out, what do you think? I go, well, you guys just had your meeting without us.
Because it's our topic.
And did it fit in her kumbaya?
I need to come right on.
I think she's learned to say.
It's been really stressful because I've had a new administrator every year.
Really?
And I've been in the same building my whole career. So my first year, my principal and assistant principal left. And then, so we got 2 the second year. And then the assistant principal left the third year. Now our principal left.
We had a new vice principal last year, now we have a new principal. Or a stepping stone in our district. They go for the higher ups positions once they've been with us for about 2 years and then
We used to be like we did.
that principal left, so.
Well, yeah.
She's done July 16th.
she got-
Oh, no, Denise, she already started.
Yeah,
She's like in Upper Arlington, like
Yeah.
head of the technology or something. in the district.
CTO or something.
Oh, really? I think one of the several people went
Yeah.
to.
I feel like I can't, like so much politics
Mm.
that I don't like, care to understand.
That's why, that's part of why
Such
she left.
It's such a big district.
She
that
got
it's
like, she couldn't, she did apply for how many other.
Yeah.
To help her suck it up, and she got like blackballed. So she left.
Same with
And same with Sean, and then he went to another district, then once he went to another district, they brought him back.